Hi there everybody, this is part 2 of the Granny Square Bucket Hat video tutorial, and I'm really happy to show you the second part where you get to put it all together. So go on over to the first part if you've missed it. It's just called the Granny Square Bucket Hat part 1. So part 2 we're going to be starting out with all our squares laid out on the table. I'll show you how to put them together and how to add your brim. So enjoy, and please subscribe to my video channel here on YouTube. I'd appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Good luck. So when you finished your 4 squares, you can lay them down, make the your color choices to how you would like to see them in your hat, and you lay them down like this. The 5th one, we're going to do another round on it so that it's 1 row bigger, because it's going to go on the top of your head, and that will make for a better shaped hat. So there's several ways you can join your squares together, but I'm going to sew them, but you can single crochet them or slip stitch them together. But I found that sort of adds extra length to it, and I'm just going to do it by sewing it. And I like to take the squares. You can see, if you look at them this way, the chains are facing up towards you. This way you can't see those distinct stitches. Right? So I'm going to make sure that both of my sides have those chain stitches showing up from your final round, and I'm going to put them back to back like this. And then by putting them back to back, you can kind of match, because the yarns are different yarns and thicknesses. Sometimes they're not exactly the same length, but if you kind of pinch the chain 3 corners like that, you get them lined up, and I just sort of hold it together, and then I'm going to put my needle into the middle of the 3 chains, and I'm going to pull it through. I'm just going to tie a knot, just one, and we can weave that end in later. Okay, that just kind of holds it together. So what we're going to do then, we're going to look as we're going along. There will be this V and the same on the other side. That's the first chain of your corner. So you're just going to pull your yarn through. I'm going to stand up just to make sure you're seeing this okay. So then for the next one, we're going to go into the top of that next stitch. And we're going to turn it over, and we're going to go into the top at the back. From front to back, always from front to back. This is a whip stitch, okay? I'm not going to go over that. I want to weave it in later because it's going to get in the way otherwise. So if you hold it together, we see the top of this stitch here and the top of the stitch at the other side. And pull. So we're going to go all the way down our granny square like this, matching the front and the back loops until we get to the end, and then we're going to tie it off, okay? So I'd like you to finish that, and I'll get back to you when you get to the end. You have your chain 3. So I like to go into the middle of the chain 3. Just like that. I'm just going to go over it again. And go back through 2. And cut it off. I'm going to leave an end to weave in just to make sure that it's super strong, because we don't want the hat coming apart, okay? And so that's what it looks like. I'm doing it all in white as like a contrasting color. So now we get the next square. So we have to hold this with the front part facing down, and the new one with the front part facing up. So we've got the wrong sides together. And we're going to pinch the corners like that and do exactly the same thing again. Attach the yarn and work into the top of each of those stitches. across. Okay, and we're going to do that for all of them until we have our circle. So now I've got three of them together, right? So now I have to flip this one over so that the right side is facing down and put the final one on with the right side facing up. So the wrong sides are together, and work across. I didn't tell you I did weave in all of the ends on here before I started this part just to make it easier for myself. So I'm once again going to attach it into the middle of the chain 3 corners and work across with my contrasting color. So here we go, we got all of them in a row here. Now the tricky part here is to remember that we don't put the right sides together, we put the wrong sides together, okay? So we've got all of our fancy stitching showing up here, and this is our last little section here. So we're going to pinch the corners, get our yarn, and start once again. This is our final little row to make our body of the hat. So here we are at the final one. Just take it back, pull it through, just make sure it's secure. I've got a long piece of yarn here because I will be adding the other top square soon. But here we have our circle, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another circle to this granny square that's got 1, 2, 3, 4 colors in it. I brought some bright yellow. I thought that would kind of make a nice contrast. So I'm going to do like we did with the other granny square parts. I'm just going to go into a corner. You can slip knot like before, like I did before, or you can just pull it through like that, as long as you're able to pull that tight, and then chain 3. That's just another way you can do it. 1, 2, 3, okay, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, right, there's our 3, 1, 2, 3, the fake with the chain. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. So now we're going to chain 1 and do 3 in here, 3 double crochets in our chain 1 space from the row below. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then into the corner, chain 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the next chain 3 double crochet cluster of 3, 1, 2, 3. There's our corner. So we've got half a corner, and then we've got 3 clusters and a corner. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 clusters and another corner all the way around to make our crown of the hat. Okay, so here I am at the end, and I've chained 3, and I'm just going to slip stitch it in there and cut that off. So we've made the 5th granny square 1 circle bigger. And I was worried at first that this would really be weird when I'm trying to attach it to the top of my hat, but it actually works out okay. These ones stretched and forgive it, so that's good. So we're going to be doing the wrong side to the wrong side, right? So this one, this is the wrong side. I've turned it so that the right sides are up. You can see all the fancy stitching there. So this is the wrong side of this one, and here we have this with all of the nice little stitches showing. So that's the right side. So if I put it like this, it's wrong side to wrong side, right? I haven't sewn in my ends here. But we can do pretty much what we did before. We can match up the chain 3 corners, and we can attach our yarn and whip stitch down there. Now there won't be exactly the same amount of stitches, pretty close, and we'll just be able to absorb what extra stitches are in there as we're sewing down there, okay? So I've moved it around a bit because I've saved my yarn from when I sewed up the last side. So here we have my yarn. So I'm going to take this chain 3 and put it there. And you see this one, the yellow, looks quite a bit bigger, but if I just hold it like this, and I like to, you can put pins and needles in if you want, but I just kind of pinch it with my fingers like that. So I'm going to go into the middle of the chain 3 here, into that top of the stitch. And then I'll do it again just to make it strong because we don't want it coming apart. And then I'm going to go across top of this stitch into the top of the one from the other side. And I can do that again. I can go into the top of the same stitch of the smaller square and just work across like this. See the top there? See how my needle is coming through? And I'm going to go around all the way to the end. And then when I get to this end, I'm going to flip it and be wrong sides together to go across the other corner, the other side. Okay? So I'm coming up to the end. It's kind of easier if you hold it like this when you're doing your work. You can see you go through there, go through there. That way you can see kind of the top of both stitches. Now you see here, my next stitch is here and that one is there. So I'm just going to do another one into the same stitch here. Just that sort of compensates for the fact that we've got 2 different size squares going together here. Now we can go into the top of this one and the top of the opposite one. It's all good. Great thing about crochet is it's not exact science, right? It's creative. So we can just make it work. So here we are at the corner. So I'm going to go into the top of this where I was in the chain 3, and I'm going to go into there to turn the corner. And now we are going to be taking the top, this is the top, and resting it wrong sides together, and we're going to do the other edge around the top. Okay, so we just pull it, and I'm going to be holding it like this, and I'm going to go into this one and into this one, and then into that one, and then into this one. Sort of works around the edge, into the top of that one, and into the top of that one. These little V's show us where the top is. Sometimes where you've woven in the ends, you won't see the stitches quite so clearly because I've woven in my ends along here. So it's not so easy. So you just have to pick a spot. Now we've got it. We're back to our little V's. That one and that one. Okay, I'll let you go all the way down to the corner. And at the other end, I always just make sure that I have put my needle through where the 2 pieces of the body meet, and pull it through the 3rd chain of the corner on the top piece. Now we're going to be moving it around to do the 3rd edge, and then ultimately we will be doing the fourth edge. Okay, so I'll let you sew that and then we'll get on with the brim. So I'm round at the end now, and just make sure that you, with your yarn needle, go in and out lots of times to secure this so that it doesn't come unraveled when you weave in the ends. I did it a few times before I actually turned the camera on, so anyway. So we've got some ends to weave in, but here we have the hat. Okay, pretty cute. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the brim. So I'm going to maybe have to pick a color for the brim. So now we're going to do the brim, and I'm going to choose this pale yellow because yellow seems to be really popular at the market, and I have yellow in most of my squares. So it's up to you what color you choose to do. I'm going to just go into one of my chains here. All right, and I'm going to reattach the yarn. And I'm going to chain one. Make sure you've got the right yarn. Okay, chain one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work around into each of these stitches that you can see across there. So I'll be working into the chain one, into each of the chain, into the 3 double crochets, and into each of the chains of the corner. As I go around, I'm going to single crochet, and I'm going to be single crocheting into the front loop only. And so I'm going to stand up here so I can show you what that means. So we're going to look at our stitch, and you'll see there's a front and a back. I apologize for my fingers. I've been working on my house here. So we're going to go into the front loop only, and do a single crochet. Normally you would go into both of them. You see how I've got 2 on there? Often we do back loop only, which means we go into the back, but we're just going to go into the front. And what this does is it gives a little bit of a bend. It starts your brim. You can see here there's like this line around the back where I did my front loop only, and it means that the brim starts to sit out a little bit better. Okay, so that's why we're doing that. So we're going to work around here, working in to the front loop only and doing a single crochet. So you just put your hook into the front loop, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through the 2, and we're going to single crochet all the way around. We're not going to increase on this first row. Okay, so I'll meet you around at the back. We're just going to join with a slip stitch at the end. Okay, so I did the front loop, double crochet, single crochet all the way around. I'm just got 1 here to do, and I'm back at the beginning, so I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch. Now I'm going to chain 1, and round 2 is half double crochet. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. Okay, so that's wrap the yarn over, put it in to the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, and pull it through all 3. That's a half double crochet, and we're going to make 2 of those into the first stitch. And now to make a one with a little bit of a ruffle to it, we're going to do a brim where we half double crochet in 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do 2 in the next one. 1 into the same stitch, again another one. So that's an increase of 1. So we're going to get our brim flaring out gradually. Okay, so we're going to half double crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do 2 in the next one. 1, 2. So we're going to work all the way around doing that increase. Okay, 5 half double crochets, increase in the next stitch, and I'll see you at the end. And here we are back at the end. It doesn't work out exactly so that you end up with 5. Okay, I've done an increase, and I've got 1 stitch to do there. I could also do 1 more in the corner if I wanted to. It's there, and now we're going to chain 2 after we've joined with a slip stitch to the half double crochet at the beginning. Sorry about that, I dropped my scissors. Now we're chaining 2, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into the first stitch. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 4 stitches and then increase. So it's a little bit different to the last one. We're just going to double crochet into 4 stitches, okay? 1 double crochet is where you wrap the yarn over. I've dropped my yarn, so I'm just going to have to pull some up here. Okay, so we're going to double crochet. So we've double crocheted 2. Now that's 1, yarn over into this way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 into the next one. 1, 2. Okay, so we're going to work around like that. Double crochet into the next 4, 2 double crochet in the next one. So here we are at the end of the increasing row with the double crochet. I'm just going to slip stitch it and join it. And now we're going to single crochet chain 1, sorry, and single crochet into the first stitch. We're doing 2 single crochet into the first stitch. Sorry, getting excited here. 2 single crochet into the first stitch, and it's going to be like the previous row with this double crochet. We're going to single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches and then make an increase. Okay, so single crochet 4, then 2 into the next one, single crochet 4, 2 into the next one, all the way around, and this is our last row for the brim. So here we are at the end of our single crochet increasing row, and I'm going to cut it. And now all that's left to do is weave in the ends. So we have our gorgeous hat here. Such a cute bucket hat. I just love it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your bucket hat, and I will post some pictures of some different ones as well on the end of the video. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed learning how to make this granny square bucket hat. And yes, you can make it multicolored, and you can make it out of 2 colors, contrasting colors. So thank you so much, and happy crocheting. So I thought I'd show it to you with all the ends woven in. So it's really attractive, gorgeous bucket hat. Let me know if you've made one, and maybe send me some pictures. That would be so cool. Thank you so much.